Tonight, everything they've worked for comes down to this one final meet to determine the 2026 Conference Carolinas Acrobatic and Tumbling Conference Champion. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Conference Carolinas Acrobatics and Tumbling Championship Finals. I am Anna Catherine English alongside Jada LaRock, and today we have got a matchup worthy of the moment. Wingate University and Lander University, two of the very best teams in the conference and two of the very best teams in the country right now, are meeting with a title on the line. Wingate is entering undefeated and a model of consistency all season long. Lander's been battle-tested, they've been resilient, and they've been dangerous. And most importantly, they're looking to avenge that early season close loss to Wingate. And now, ladies and gentlemen, they are meeting for the championship. Jada, we've seen these two teams all weekend long, and we've said it earlier today. We have been waiting for this to come to fruition, these two teams on the mat with everything on the line.
I am so excited that we have finally made it to the conference championships. These teams have shown how hard they've worked all season throughout this weekend with, Wingate beating Coker and then Lander beating Montevello, and then also seeing them compete against each other and kind of seeing that, love-hate kind of rivalry happen during event finals today. So that was really great to see, and I'm really excited to see what they put out on the mat today.
Absolutely. We're going to go ahead and get started with our compulsory event. Inside this compulsory event, we are going to see acro, pyramid, toss, and tumbling. Up first is Lander University. On the mat, you will see Olivia Brewer, Kaden Groom, Rihanna Philcox, Casey Sutherland, Ashlyn Shively, Kayla Martin, Chloe Powers, Alana Eckert, and Caitlin Sklow.
Very strong start from Lander.
And Lander needs to be hitting season bests all day long today.
Oh, she was a little C-shaped, but she opened up a little bit. Very good timing on those dismounts.
Heading into this final section with the switch up to arabesque.
Good hold. Nice high catches. Very, very good start for Lander.
Absolutely. And that was something that they kind of had some wiggles on yesterday, so they ironed that out today, which is a great way to start everything out. Yesterday on that switch up, they had a little bit of a issue when it got to the top, and then the timing was a little off yesterday on the full down, so really, really glad to see Lander making those changes today.
I think after event finals, both teams really went back and kind of looked at what happened this past weekend and then also this morning and kind of combed through those little mistakes that they were making and where those deductions were coming from and really honed in on those rather than the skills that they know they have and they know that they can perform on.
Absolutely. All right, we are going to move on to Wingate and the compulsory acro event. We will see on the floor for this Abigail Haney, Elizabeth Funk, Amanda Stevens, Gracelyn Grady, Carly Woody, Bella Crapus, Helen Molina, Daniela Blanquisette, and Chloe Parker. We have been kind of talking about this all day, but some keys for Wingate here in order to take home not just that regular season championship that they were awarded today, but also for this conference championship. They're going to have to maintain that consistency. They really do not have a lot of room for error because of how close Lander and Wingate have been all season with their scoring. Wingate's got to maintain that consistency, and then they've got to control the meet late. Controlling the meet early is fine, but for them, they need to step up in that tumbling section as well as the team event in order to possibly take that win today.
I agree. Good timing from Wingate. A little timing issue there on the dismount.
Very nice switch ups to the arabesque. Very nice. A little awkward catch on that left-hand one. She was caught really high up, so her shoulder was a little awkward. But all in all, very nice start from Wingate.
These judges will definitely, since it's the conference championships, they're really going to be looking at the little minute details that maybe they would not look at in normal meets. But today, since these teams are so close in scores, they're going to be looking at every minute detail. And if it's not, near perfection, they will take off for it.
Absolutely. And for Lander, some really important keys for the meet is they've really got to capitalize on tumbling. They had an incredible showing this morning at the individual event finals. And so they really need to take that and capitalize on it for this meet today. And then they've got to keep it close. They cannot have any room for error in which they go maybe 2-3 points different. They've got to keep it within that 1 point range. And for anybody at home, that was kind of a little bit of the point difference at the beginning of the season. It was just a 0.3 difference in that win that Wingate took over Lander in the first meet of the year. So Lander really cannot kind of stray away from that 0.3, 0.4 difference because anything more than that will be a little bit more difficult to make up in the team event. All right, we're going to move into the pyramid section. In this pyramid for Lander, on the floor, you will see Rachel Webster, Alana Eckert, Audra Kaiser, Morgan Exodus, Rihanna Philcox, Riley Hoffman, Julie Smitsko, Lainey Carroll, Kaden Groom, Ashlyn Shively, Kayla Martin, Chloe Powers, and Danielle Cusido. I'm already seeing Lander's really cleaning up those little things from yesterday to today.
Very pretty straddles. A little timing issue on that dismount, but overall very nice high catches.
Yep. That is a lot better across the board than it was yesterday against Montevallo. They really took that time to clean up just those little nuances. Like we talked about, that was really important because that was kind of affecting their timing yesterday. Mm-hmm. Again, we didn't have that perfect timing on the dismount, but across the board, a much cleaner and much stronger pyramid for this compulsory event than yesterday. All right, moving into this same pyramid event for Wingate. Out on the floor will be Abigail Haney, Reese Johnson, Helen Molina, Chloe Parker, Caitlin Keeler, Alana Thomas, Carly Woody, Bella Crapus, Graceland Grady, Ava Scott, Amanda Stevens, Riley Tallow, and Emery Eccles. And something to note here, if either one of these teams wins this tournament here today, this will be a program first for both, but it will also be for the first time in 4 years that we will have a brand new winner. Actually, the first time in 4 years that we will have a brand new winner. Limestone won this 4 years in a row. They also won the regular season 4 years in a row. So we already have a new regular season champion, but this will be a program first for either team if they were to walk away as the champion today. So very, very exciting stuff that we've got going on here this afternoon. Each team has an opportunity to make such big history for their program.
Very high stakes, though, so you really got to see, their mental toughness and how they take it, and if they run with it or let it take them down. A little bit of timing issues. Good high catches, just some timing issues on the up and then on the dismount as well.
And that's going to keep these two very evenly matched going into the toss category.
Look at it goes.
They're quick. They're quick with it today. All right, moving into this toss category. We will see Ashlyn Shively, Kaden Groom, Rihanna Philcox, Casey Sutherland, Audra Kaiser, Jalen Barentes, Kayla Martin, Caitlin Sklo, Alana Eckert, Morgan Exodus, and Jaden Irizarry. Great. A little bit more height on that right-hand one, but it did not affect the timing, which was great. That right one really exploded up, and I was a little worried that they were not going to catch at the same time, but somehow she wrote it down really quick and was able to maintain that timing. Great job from Lander in the toss. And up next for Wingate, we will see Abby Harris, Chloe Parker, Ava Scott, Elizabeth Funk, Helen Molina, Carly Woody, Gracelyn Grady, Bella Krapis, Amanda Stevens, Reese Johnson, and Caitlin Keeler. And you guys can tell, we kind of felt the tension as we were coming in today. You could cut it with a knife between these two programs and their fans. The fans are so loud in here today, and it has been amazing to see everybody travel to support their teams this afternoon for this final. Again, same thing happening there. The left one went a little bit higher, but it did not affect that timing. Again, I'm so impressed that they are getting one of those tosses, both teams, a smidge bit higher than the other, but it is not affecting that ride time down.
Yeah, I don't know how they make it down at the same time.
Me either.
Defying gravity, as
truly
would say it.
Truly. I'm not going to sing for you guys.
I'm not going to sing, no.
Yeah, you don't want to hear that from me.
I don't have the voice of Cynthia Erivo, but...
I would like to think I do in my shower, but I don't have the voice of Cynthia Erivo. But again, that's just so impressive. They're, again, with that synchronized, you're kind of seeing those people out of the corner of your eye. So really impressive for those two flyers to get themselves down a little bit faster so that they are not affecting that timing of the catch. So great job by both teams there. And that brings us to our final segment of this compulsory event is tumbling. Getting ready to go out on the map for Lander will be Ashlyn Shively, Morgan Exodus, Jaden Irizarry, Julie Schmertzko, Jalen Barentes, Audra Kaiser, Chloe Powers, and Kaden Groom. And Lander's got so much experience and explosiveness, and that really shows in their tumbling. They walked away with several conference titles today in the tumbling, which, kind of allowed for them to get a little bit of practice in. And they've been posting some of the top scorers for the conference in their tumbling section specifically. So I know that they're wanting to come out and really get close to that 10 starting value here. Fabulous timing on those standing tucks. Great.
Amazing timing.
Great sticky feet landing on that toe touch tuck. Not a scoot in sight. Lander is really doing all they can to ensure that this is a top score for their program. Wow. That was absolutely fantastic work from Lander. Man, I don't think they've had that kind of timing on their tumbling
yesterday.
No, definitely not yesterday. Definitely not yesterday. Way to go back, regroup, fix what needed to be fixed, because that timing could not have been better. And that does put a little bit of pressure on Wingate to really ensure that they are also bringing in that top timing.
It does.
Now, Wingate has been the standard all season. They've had clean execution. They've had depths on every event. But after seeing what Lander just put out on the floor for that tumbling, Wingate's really going to have to ensure that they have no scoots, all sticky feet, perfect timing. So the pressure is on Wingate to replicate what Lander just put on the floor.
A little bit of a timing issue.
Little extra hop there at the end, and that could be what makes the difference. So that does wrap up this first competition. So while we are waiting on these final scores to come in, we'll go ahead and talk about what we're going to see next in the events. We're going to move into acro, where trust and timing and connection are going to define the success from each team. Teams will compete in 3 heats: the 5 element, the 6 element, which is a synchronized, and the 7 element. In Conference Carolina, we work hard to help build champions in body, mind, and soul. We are proud of our tradition, and we are committed to taking it to an even higher level in the years to come. Please visit conferencecarolinas.com to learn more about the Conference Carolinas and all of our amazing member institutions, including the ones that you see here today. Once again, that is conferencecarolinas.com to visit and learn more about our member institutions. All right, the scores are in for the compulsory event. In the acro heat, Lander scored a 9.15. Wingate with a 9.375. In the pyramid heat, Lander with a 9.5. And Wingate with a 9.6. In the toss, Lander scored a 9.5. And Wingate scored a 9.475. In the tumbling heat, Lander scored an 8.775. And Wingate scored an 8.375. So if you're going to keep up at home and you're going to add up and see what our totals look like, currently Lander has a 36.925 and Wingate with a 36.825. So folks, it is exactly what we anticipated. This is so close.
And the Shaw Athletic Center is erupting.
Absolutely. All right, we're getting ready to move into our next element, which is acro. So in heat 1, you will see the 5 element. On the floor for this, for Lander, is Ashlyn Shively, Rihanna Philcox, Paloma Dean, Lainey Carroll, and Michaela Crinson. And folks, keep an eye out for number 2, Ashlyn Shively. She is Conference Carolinas Athlete of the Year. And folks, she is actually going to be competing in 13 heats in this competition. So this girl is the real deal.
Very nice control from the base.
Beautiful.
Beautiful full off.
Sometimes when you get that first part over, you're like, whew, all right. So moving into this next, and this is where Lander struggled a little bit yesterday.
Beautiful.
But not
nice
today. No struggles today. All right, up next for Wingate. In their 5 element, we will see Graceland Grady, Daniela Blanquisset, Chloe Parker, Emery Eccles, and Ava Wolf. And Wingate's start value for this is a 9.95, and Lander's start value was a 10. So Lander, I'm sure, is really wanting to get close to that 10, whereas Wingate, really the max they can score is that 9.95. So, of course, they're going to want to get to as close to that as possible just in case the judges noticed anything from Lander. They're really going to want to jump ahead of them in any way they can.
Very nice control from Wingate's top and bottom. Finishing up this element with the 180. Very nice inversion, a little C-shaped.
So we do have a little bit of a scoring update. There was a change to Wingate's compulsory tumbling. So that score has changed from an 8.375 to an 8.350, which brings Wingate's score down to a 36.800. Y'all can hear it already.
Look at the dad. We have a dad.
I'm telling you, these parents, they have like these crazy headbands on with
and
like
hand flappers.
And yeah, everything but the kitchen sink basically is what these parents are bringing with them.
I'm more surprised there's not that many fat heads in the state.
I know. I love a fat head.
I love a good fat head.
I love a good fat head. All right, so we are moving into Heat 2, which is the 6-element synchronized. Up first is going to be Lander. You will see on the mat Alana Eckert, Morgan Asadas, Jalen Barrentez, Julie Smith-Sko, Jaden Irizarry, Kaden Groom, Chloe Powers, Danielle Casuto, and Lainey Carroll. Good timing. And very nice landings. Not one top girl was a little too one way or another.
Good timing. Took that pull off the base a little bit.
Yeah, she's kind of really, and we noticed that yesterday, she's really been pushing off that base, which is kind of making that full look a little wonky.
But the timing is still perfect. It's still on point. Nice open inversions.
Wow. What a great start. What a great start for Lander. Honestly, I feel like they're coming for it. They are coming for it. They're hungry. They've been so close. They are the number 12 team in the country right now. Wingate is the number 14 team in the country right now. And you might be asking, well, hold on a second. Wingate is undefeated. They're the regular season program title winners. Well, the difference there, folks, is that Lander has a higher score this season than Wingate. So their overall team score from one of their events has kept them just above Wingate. And that is how the NCATA works with their ranking system. So that is how Lander is ranked above them. But needless to say, they are very evenly matched. And although Lander's schedule this year didn't exactly go the way they wanted to, they had a loss again against Wingate and then a loss against St. Leo. St. Leo's an incredible top program. So their two losses are to two fantastic teams, one in which they are competing again against today. So although their records may not reflect one another, they are both very evenly matched and very excited to see this. Up next for Wingate will be Abigail Henley, Elizabeth Funk, Reese Johnson, Ava Scott, Carly Woody, Bella Crapus, Helen Molina, Riley Tallow, and Caitlin Keeler.
Little timing issue on that.
Yep. Just a little error there.
Good open inversions.
The one on the right didn't really get that total squeeze we want to see. It kind of had a little wobble back and forth. We really want to see when it hits that top inversion that it sticks and stays. We didn't really see that. A little bit of wobble, but again, still stayed and still had that timing come down for the dismount. So across the board, very good. But we've already said this once. This is going to be every little thing looked at right now. So you don't want to have those little wobbles up top. You want to be as tight and as clean as possible. Gosh, we are just flying through this meet already today. We are getting ready to move into the 7-element heat. On the floor for Lander, you will see Ashlyn Shively, Brianna Philcox, Audra Kaiser, Kayla Martin, and Michaela Crunson. And for Lander, this is their second highest starting value routine. This also will start at a 10. And I know these girls are itching to get as close to that as possible. Yesterday they did score a 9.375 in this heat, and Wingate scored a 9.6 in this heat. So I know both of those teams want to improve on those scores, but those are still very good scores. But I know Lander would like to see their score getting a little closer to that 9.6 like Wingate had yesterday. All right, let's see if Lander can improve on what they put out yesterday with this 7-element acro.
Nice body control. Beautiful layout position.
That was very textbook. You love to see that. Much better from yesterday. There were so many times in which I was a little worried that we were going to lose it, but she saved it. And again, that's the reason why she's our Athlete of the Year from Conference Carolinas.
Yeah, yesterday they had some steps and just some kind of not really good communication between the two bases. So seeing that improve today is really nice to see.
Absolutely. All right, and up next for Wingate in this 7-element final heat in the acro is Abigail Henley, Elizabeth Funk, Amanda Stevens, Alana Thomas, and Michaela Washington. And like we said earlier, yesterday Wingate came out and had a 9.6 in this event, in this heat. And they have a starting value on this of a 10. So they are probably itching for those 0.4 points to get as close to a 10 as possible. And to be honest, with just being a little bit behind Lander right now, they're going to need every point possible in order to walk away as a double conference championship winner. You can tell it is getting loud in here with these fans.
It's getting rowdy. touched down a little bit in that. She kind of throw her arms up to save it.
Nice little toss to... She's getting a lot of heights on these dismount. Beautiful inversion. Great job from Wingate. Woo-wee. You know who I don't want to be right now, Jada? I don't want to be a judge right now.
Nope.
No way, no how, honey. All right, after we get ready to announce the scores for this, we're going to move to the pyramid event. So pyramid is arguably the most visually impressive phase of the meet. You're going to see multiple athletes making one structure, and teams will compete in 3 heats: the inversion, the synchronized, and the open. Lander fans are in the house. You can hear them loud and proud, and as they should be. Lander and Wingate both walked home with so many individual event titles this morning. It was impressive. It was like every other one, and then you had some Mars Hill, you had some Belmont Abbey, but man, I mean, when we were out here watching this morning, we thought, golly, them winning this many titles and showcasing this much, like, that's going to make this afternoon so much fun, and boy, are we right.
It was just a little sneak peek earlier of what we were going to get tonight.
All right, we do have these acro scores. So in heat 1, 5 element. Lander with a 9.375. And Wingate with a 9.55. In heat 2, 6 element synchronized. Lander with a 9.25. And Wingate with a 9.175. And in heat 3, our 7 element, Lander with a 9.275. And Wingate with a 9.475. So again, if you're good at addition at home, that puts our running total score at a 64.825 for Lander. And Wingate is going to jump Lander with a 65 even right now. So we're right back at it. I think it's just going to keep going back and forth. What do you think, Jada?
Yeah, I think it's going to go down to the wire. It's going to go down to team event and really just who executes. But like you said earlier, it's okay to lead in the first half, but you really got to finish it out in the second half. And both teams are really good in tumbling event, as they have showed this past weekend and earlier today. So it's really going to come down to who wants it more and, you know, who reaches near perfection.
Absolutely. And this pyramid is something that both teams scored really well in yesterday. Lander really needs to step up the inversion and the synchronized and get a high score as possible to keep up with Wingate in this. So in this first heat, you will see Audra Kaiser, Alana Eckert, Ashlyn Shively, Lainey Carroll, Rachel Webster, Kaden Groom, Morgan Asadis, Rihanna Philcox, Riley Hoffman, and Chloe Powers. It's a lot of strength from those mid layers right now. A little wiggle, but we got to the top.
And held for a little extra.
Wow, she made up for that little wiggle. She said, listen, I'm up here, I'm comfortable, I'm going to hang out for a second. And you know what? That is exactly what Lander needed, because I was a little worried when I saw that mid layer with her, starting to see the wiggle, starting to see that disconnect happen, and for them to squeeze back up and not just hold for the 3 counts, but she said, we'll hold for 4, and then we'll go down on 5. So excellent job. Super glad that they were able to save that. Was a little worried at first. Up next in this event for Wingate, you will see Abigail Henry, Gracelyn Grady, Ava Wolf, Elizabeth Funk, Reese Johnson, Alana Thomas, Helen Molina, Ava Scott, and Michaela Washington. I got to give Jada props on this. Folks at home, if you can hear the music that's playing, my co-host over here, Jada, she is our DJ here today. She created this playlist. And thank you for the Keisha Cole, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
I really appreciate it. And I love how y'all know this song, too. Because when I was y'all's age, this is what I was like riding around town and blasting. So
we threw a little bit of everything in there.
Truly, you're playing to the whole group, and I appreciate that. She said, anything you can do, I can do better.
Yeah. Wow.
Man. You know, I would say the tough part about this is that no matter who you are, if you're the one going first, that team knows what they've got to follow up with, which is a little bit of a disadvantage for Lander, because if they're going to put something out on the floor that's just unbelievable, Wingate said, all right, we got to be unbelievable too. So that's kind of the hard part about being first in these sort of events, because you're like, oh, man. And the thing is, they're so evenly matched that if Lander can do it, Wingate can do it, and if Wingate can do it, Lander can do it. So,
and it's really nice to see how, like, composed Lander is still, even with all the noise, all the surrounding sounds, and, you know, they are happy with and proud of what they put out on the mat, and then they come back to the side, and they get composed again, and they get refocused on the next thing.
Absolutely.
And that is what is that's what's going to get them far in this meet, is their composure and their mental toughness.
Jada, I don't know that the folks at home understand. I can almost barely hear you sometimes, and we're sitting right next to each other because it is so loud in here, because these fans are getting so rowdy. It was like, man, you're sitting right next to me. I'm like, these people are so loud, but that's so awesome to see the support from these parents. But golly, it's getting loud and rowdy in here. All right, we're going to move into Pyramid Heat 2. This is the synchronized pyramid. On the mat, you will see Alana Eckert, Audra Kaiser, Ashlyn Shively, Kayla Martin, Rachel Webster, Lainey Carroll, Maisie Minemi, Kaden Groom, Olivia Brewer, Rihanna Philcox, Jaden Irizarry, Julie Smithsko, and Caitlin Sklo.
And if you weren't tuned in earlier, yes, these girls are in bridges. They are on their hands and their feet and a back bend, which is an upside-down position, so they have no clue what is going on above them. And they're having to bear the weight of 2 other people. Beautiful timing from Lander.
And they're blind. They are not able to see anything of what is happening from above them. Great job from Lander. A very nice start to the synchronized. Also, yesterday they did have a little issue with those dismounts being off on the timing, and I thought that was much better done today by Lander with those dismounts.
Yes. I definitely think it's helpful for the top and the back to match with it being set up the way it was. It's easier for the back top to be able to watch the front top and stay on time with them in order to land perfectly every single time.
Absolutely. All right, up next for Wingate in the synchronized pyramid, we will see Abigail Haney, Amanda Stevens, Helen Molina, Chloe Parker, Elizabeth Funk, Carly Woody, Bella Crapus, Gracelyn Grady, Ava Scott, Ava Wolf, and last but not least, Madeline Downer. And yesterday, both teams, Lander scoring a 9.675 and Wingate scoring a 9.7 in this heat. You know that this is going to be very close in this heat again today. Both teams with the starting value of a 10, so they are both executing some very, very difficult skills in this synchronized pyramid. There's a little wobble happening on the left-hand pyramid, but the mid-layer is staying as strong as she can. I know she was fighting hard for that. Yeah, you can tell she was fighting hard for that, but that mid-layer on the left-hand side, we saw a little bit of the wobble in the legs, but she held it, and it came down. Great timing from Wingate in that as well.
There were some timing issues on the come up, and then also the one of the tops brought her leg down a lot sooner than the other one to start the rotation. And once she kind of saw the other top not coming in, she kind of had to slow herself down more to catch back up in order to land at the same exact time. So, like, even though those are little things that you would like, oh, they were still on time, like, they still look good, judges will still take off for those little minute details.
And especially with this being a conference championship, like you said earlier, they will be very particular here today. All right, we're going to go into this open pyramid heat. In the pyramid for Lander, Alana Eckert, Audra Kaiser, Ashlyn Shively, Kayla Martin, Rachel Webster, Lainey Carroll, Maisie McNamee. Oh, hold on. This will be Ashlyn Shively, Audra Kaiser, Alana Eckert, Kayla Martin, Rihanna Wilcox, Kaden Groom, and Phoenix Woodard. Squeeze.
Good
Great
fight.
job.
They have such good body control.
Very good. I was a little worried for them. The cheer coach in me came out. I said, "You squeeze it. Do not let it go." And I love to see athletes fight for it. And we've seen that all weekend long. We've seen athletes really fighting for every single thing to stay as much as it can. But as a former coach, I just remember always telling my student athletes, squeeze for it, fight for it, because if I see you fighting for it, I don't care if it falls, because I know you were trying to save everything that you could, and you saw that on display right there. Alrighty, in this last pyramid heat for Wingate, we will see Bella Crapus, Daniela Blanquisette, Gracelyn Grady, Chloe Parker, Caitlin Keeler, Helen Molina, Amanda Stevens, Madeline Downer, Riley Tallow, Ava Wolf, and Michaela Washington. All right, we are wrapping up the pyramid heat. Wingate out for their open pyramid. Great job. A little bit of wiggles, but all in all, a really great pyramid. Great job to Wingate. I really appreciate when the wiggles don't really affect their instability, because for me, it would be the immediate come down. My arms start shaking. Goodbye. We're done. All right, we will now be headed into halftime. We will see everybody in about, come back to your computer in about 10 minutes, and we'll be back. We will give pyramid scores, and we will return in about 10 minutes from halftime. Conference Carolinas would like to thank corporate partners, Athletic Solutions, Atlantic Casualty Insurance Company, Bob McCloskey Insurance, Box Out Sports, Big Pair Sports, Buffin & Baker, Build Air Services of North Carolina, Championship Award Guys, ConferenceCarolinasTravel.com, Digital Scoreboards, Engine, Field Turf, Hometown Ticketing, Hour-a-thon, Huddle, Marriott of Spartanburg, McGriff Insurance Services, McMillan Pazdan Smith, Podium X, Rocket Alumni Solutions, Sidearm Sports, Southern Recognition, LLC, South State Bank, Sport Performance Tracking, Spry, Team Builder, Ticket Smarter, U-Report, and last but certainly not least, Vernon Graphics and Promotions. Please visit conferencecarolinas.com/corporate partners to learn more about Conference Carolinas corporate partners and how you can also become one as well. All right, we are returning from halftime. We are getting ready to announce the pyramid scores. But after we are done with that, we will be going into the toss section. The toss event is going to be where power meets precision, and athletes are literally going to be airborne. They're going to be launched with height and difficulty, and then they will be caught by their teammates. And that catch is also equally as important, because that catch has really got to have all of the components of safety meets cleanliness in order to get the points that they are looking for. And for anybody just now joining us, we have a very tight competition so far. Wingate was behind Lander in the first, after the first compulsory. However, Wingate has pulled ahead at currently sitting at 65 points, and Lander just behind them at 64.825. We are, however, getting ready to announce the pyramid winners and pyramid scores. In the inversion heat, Lander scored a 9, and Wingate scored a 9.8. In the synchronized heat, Lander scored a 9.725, and Wingate a 9.7. In the open pyramid heat, Lander scored a 9.75, and Wingate with a 9.925. So if you have got your calculators out at home, that now has Lander sitting at 93.3 points, and Wingate has jumped ahead to almost a full point lead with a 94.425. However, we are not done yet, folks. We still have 3 more events to go through. We're going to move into the toss. And this is going to have to be some of Lander's highest scores of the season in order to gain back those points. Up first in the toss for Lander is Ashlyn Shively, Rihanna Philcox, Kaden Groom, Casey Sutherland, Audra Kaiser, and Lainey Carroll. Lander does have a start value of a 9.9 in this, and they are going to need to get as close to that 9.9 as possible.
Getting rowdy again.
It
both
sure
sides,
is.
Both sides are chanting for their team. Again, like we said before, the second half is what really counts. That's what's going to get them to the end, and we're going to have a new champion soon.
We sure are. We only have 3 events left, and this competition is flying by today.
Yes, it is. I'm sure the judges are very tired.
I was going to say, I'm sure they don't think it's flying by, but we sure do.
We love a fast meet, though. As an athlete,
yes, you just want to.
A fast meet is amazing.
And both Lander and Wingate did not have great scores yesterday in the toss heat, so both teams really will need to have season highs in these tosses in order to try to maintain. Well, Wingate will need it to try to maintain their lead, but Lander will really, really need some huge toss scores here to jump back in front of Wingate.
Beautiful height.
And that's a good way to start it off.
That's a good way.
That is a great way to start it off.
I honestly think that one was better than the one they competed this morning.
Oh, 100%. 100%. You know, I really love when you can see, and again, we talked about how this is such an important factor with the judging, but when you can see those body elements from your top girl in the toss being fully executed because she's got the right amount of height, she's got the right amount of distance that she needs away from her bases, that it allows for those judges to say, okay, yep, check, check, check. That's exactly what we're looking to see. And I do feel like in that toss just now, we saw exactly what we needed to see. All right, up next in the toss heat for Wingate, we will see Carly Woody, Bella Crapus, Gracelyn Grady, Reese Johnson, Amanda Stevens, and Caitlin Keeler.
Caught a little high.
Yes.
She really had to scoop her feet so that way she'd make it all the way
around. And I was a
around.
little worried about how her neck landed in that space. It kind of jolted her a little bit. Again, executed pretty well. But like you said, her feet in that second part of her double really just made her land kind of awkwardly. All right, we're getting ready to head into the second toss. And we've said all along, these synchronized events tend to be the hardest, but they also tend to be the hardest because right now every little detail matters, everything counts, and you don't want this to be the difference in today. So both teams, are going to be really ensuring that their counter is got the perfect speed and the perfect timing so that there is no question asked. So in this synchronized toss for Lander, and it's getting loud for the Bearcats, we will see Ashlyn Shively, Rihanna Philcox, Kaden Groom, Casey Sutherland, Audra Kaiser, Mia Gomez, Caitlin Sklow, Kayla Martin, Alana Eckert, Morgan Asadis, and Jaden Irizarry. Lander does have a 9.4 start value, so they're going to need to get as close to perfect as they can in order to receive those maximum points that they really need to jump back on top in the scores. I really didn't see anything on the timing. I thought that their body positions in those fulls were great.
And the height was definitely better this time. It was more even than it was this morning at event finals. So
yes,
they definitely took a look back at that and made some changes.
Yes, yeah. This morning we saw one flyer kind of get a little overthrown, if you will, which was great. She had great height. However, it did really affect their timing, and ultimately it affected their chance to win this morning. And this also wasn't a greatly scored toss for them yesterday either, so I would really love to see them kind of reaching a wonderful score here today, because a lot of boxes look to be checked to me in that. So up next for Wingate in their synchronized toss, we will have Abby Harris, Ava Scott, Elizabeth Funk, Helen Molina, Chloe Parker, Carly Woody, Gracelyn Grady, Bella Krapis, Reese Johnson, Amanda Stevens, and Caitlin Keeler.
A little bit of a timing issue on the landing. But very good body positions for that full toss.
Absolutely. And one thing about Wingate, they are consistent. They've been that way all season long. That has been such a huge reason why they've been undefeated. And that consistency really played into today at the individual event finals. We saw Wingate walk away with so many titles. And again, that consistency they've had all season long has continued to play into this weekend as well. So we're down to the last toss heat. Oh, we got some Lander dads up front.
Lander dads ready to cheer.
Incredible. You know, I love my dad, but I am not sure that he would be that dad.
My dad would be that dad if someone was like, let's go, let's do this.
Yeah,
like,
my dad would have needed a lot of convincing to do that. Or if he would have gotten down there, he would not have had the Lander sweatband with the attached hair to it, that's for sure.
I wonder if they sell those in their store. Or where do they get those from?
That's a great question. That is a great question. All right, for this final toss, you will see out on the mat for Lander, Mia Gomez, Kaylin Sklo, Kayla Martin, Alana Eckert, Morgan Asadis, and Michaela Crenson. And Lander really needs to have a huge toss here. That was very clean.
Nice toss for Lander.
Very clean. And sometimes that's what you want. You want a clean. It may not have necessarily had that start value of a 10. It had, I think, the start value of a 9.4.
But having a basic, clean toss, that's how you limit the amount of deductions that you could possibly get on a toss like that.
All right, the final toss is up. From Wingate, you will see Abby Harris, Ava Scott, Elizabeth Funk, Helen Molina, Chloe Parker, and Michaela Washington. Landed a little sideways there, so that let me know that her full in the air was not quite where she wanted it to, because she did land a little lopsided. However, still very clean.
Very nice body position in that full toss.
All right, it is getting loud and proud in here. We are finishing up the toss event scores. So we're going to go ahead and talk about what we will go into next. That is the tumbling event. So we just went from high flying to high power. The tumbling event is going to have individual, duo, trio, quad, you name it, we will see it in this tumbling event. And let me tell you something right now, this morning was an absolute clinic for what we want tumbling to look like this afternoon. Earlier today, we saw both Wingate and Lander take home several individual event titles in tumbling. So we will see if they can repeat those performances here this evening.
Both teams each have very good tumblers on both their teams. So this tumbling event is really what's going to set the bar for the scores going into team event, and really is going to show us who will run away with that championship title.
Absolutely. All right, scores for toss are in. In the 450 salto toss, Lander scored a 9.650, and Wingate scored a 9.4. In the synchronized heat, Lander scored an 8.925, and Wingate with an 8.525. In the open heat, Lander scored a 9.075. And Wingate scored an 8.750. So get your calculators out. That brings Lander to a running total of 120.95. And Wingate's running total to a 121.1. So Lander said, just you watch. They have brought that lead down to an unbelievably close score. It is exactly what we wanted. We wanted to see this. Both teams have got to have tumbling of a lifetime. There's zero room for error right here in tumbling of a lifetime. So we're going to start off with the duo tumbling. We're going to see Julie Smitsco and Audra Kaiser. I know that is not what Lander was hoping to happen. Unfortunately, that is going to see not the tumbling score that they wanted to start off with. Unfortunately, she just really didn't have enough height on that very last part of her pass in order for her to be able to put her foot down to stand up, which is what caused her to fall forward and essentially hit the mat. So it started off so strong. They had such great synchronization, but unfortunately, that was just not what they were looking to have. So we will move on to Wingate University in the duo tumbling. We will see Chloe Parker and freshman phenom Emery Eccles. For those of you who do not know, Emery is currently the Conference Carolinas Freshman of the Month for the month of March. She is a huge part of this team. We've talked about her so many times on the broadcast over the last 2 days. She has just been such a huge asset to this program. So many of their freshmen have been such an asset to this program coming in. Wingate team is full of freshmen and sophomores. They have juniors and seniors, but it's a heavy young team, which is a huge thing for them. That's going to allow for them to be able to grow and somehow be probably even better next year. That was flawless. Oh, you can hear it. It is getting so loud in here. Up next in the trio tumbling for Lander, Jade Gerard, Michaela Crunson, and Jaylene Barentes. Hopefully these girls are able to shake off. Team's got their back. Crowd seems like they've got their back. And that can be hard when you see your teammates, not execute what they were hoping to. But you got to just kind of regroup and move on and try to make up for what was kind of taken away there.
Which Lander still can do if they execute the rest of their tumbling properly and with precision and, timing for these safe passes. I think they could still be within pretty close proximity for a team event to still end up on top.
Great job. I thought we were going to have a little bit off on that back couple, but she caught herself up. She said, it's not today.
And that's where the peripheral vision comes into play. You really got to look around your surroundings when you're doing a sync anything in acro, just to make sure that your timing is right.
Absolutely. Very, very good job by that group. All right, up next in the trio tumbling for Wingate will be Evelyn Lacroix, Caitlin Keeler, and Abby Harris. I got to say, folks, you can't see us in the broadcast booth, but we are no longer sitting. We are standing. We are on our feet. We're anxious. We can no longer sit. We have got to be on our feet in order to get through these last two event finals.
A little bit of an extra step at the end. They do have one declared step, so that extra little step will count off for them, but overall timing was very good.
They started to get a little close, which we saw that in their quad this morning and yesterday. Their quad was tumbling very abnormally close together. And we did see that just now in this trio. Those front two kind of got a little close, which again does make that hard for the judging because they aren't able to see all three individuals, ensuring that everything is happening at the same time. You can hear who's coming up next. It is time for quad tumbling. On the floor for Lander will be Ashlyn Shively, Danielle Casuto, McKenna Monkellen, and Chloe Powers.
And as you can hear, Lander Acro had not only their parents and their supporters, but they have also recruited Montevello's Acro team as supporters.
Montevello is kind of doing double duty. I think they're getting their cheers in for both teams. And honestly, Montevello very easily could have been in this team finals yesterday. They had an excellent meet yesterday night. Lander did get the edge on them. But they very easily could have been here as well. They had such a great meet last night. And they walked home with I think one of their top team scores for the season after yesterday. So very, very excited for Montebello. And that's a program that I feel like is really up and coming. They have a wonderful coach who was named Coach of the Year. So I'm happy to see another team kind of sticking around for these finals because you sometimes just want to go home. You're done. You're tired, especially if you've competed all weekend long and then you've done the event finals. Like, you are just ready to go home. And so it's really cool to see them here and cheering on. And again, folks, somebody to watch here in this heat, number 2, Ashlyn Shively. She is Landers and Conference Carolina's Athlete of the Year. She is such a huge part of this team, and so she is one to watch right here in the front.
Boom. And that's how it's done.
And that's exactly, and that can be so hard in this quad event. We saw that today. Having 4 people tumbling at once, they really were on the straight line. There was no staggering at all whatsoever. They kept their spacing. They had their timing right. So very impressive. I kind of feel like Lander has made a little bit of a comeback from that duo pass.
Yes, they definitely have. And that just shows, again, how their mental toughness is and what their team culture is at Lander. It just shows that even though they fall down, they can get right back up and, still go out there and prove themselves and put something out there that they're proud of.
Absolutely. And I will brag. I've bragged on every broadcast, so why not do it again? Madison Owens, one of Lander's assistant coaches, is a former student of mine. I was able to teach her when she was doing musical theater when she was in high school. Did choreography for some of the shows that she was in. She and her twin sister were both student athletes at Lander. On the acro tumbling team, and Madison stayed on to be an assistant coach. So super proud of her. Also super proud of her sister. They're both great girls. But it is very fun for me to see someone that I've known for a while down there living out their passion and living their dream and coaching others. All right, up next is quad tumbling for Wingate. We will see Cassidy Poindexter, Helen Molina, Alana Thomas, and Bella Crapus. Short on one of those fulls.
It's still just very close, but their fulls did look in sync and, nice body position, so kudos to them.
Yeah, just a little short on one of those landings. So she did look like she kind of came down a little earlier, just because she was a little short on that landing. But otherwise, another great performance from Wingate. And now we're going to move into what Jada and I love the most. It's those individual tumbling passes. We will see the aerial pass, the 6-element pass, and the open pass. And we had a showdown of tumbling earlier today.
We
had ties.
Ties and tumbling today.
And we had tumble-offs, which was like we said, it was like bring it on. We had a tumble-off.
We had 2 tumble-offs.
And to be honest with you, those tumble-offs were so impressive. It could have gone to anybody. Lander did walk away with one of those tumbling titles for the individual passes today, which was very exciting. We'll have to see if Queen Juju can bring it back and run it back for another great pass here today. All right, first up in the aerial pass, Julie Schmitzko. I love watching Julie tumble. Beautiful. And this is most likely Julie's very last meet ever. She is a graduate student at Lander, so to see her shine so many times this weekend has been very exciting. I know this is probably full of emotions for her, but here we are. All hail Queen Juju. She's right back at it with the crown. Super glad to see her get one last really solid pass. I know that's full of emotions and can sometimes be... You just don't know how you're going to handle it, so.
It's definitely something to remember and something to be proud of.
All right, up next in the aerial tumbling is Chloe Parker from Wingate University. And if you're watching from home, you can see these teams they're not taking breaks in between these events. They are gearing up and practicing skills for the team event, which we will finish out with here in just a few minutes. So there's no rest for these girls. They are always on the go, but right now they are trying to get these perfectly last-minute executions done to have a little bit more confidence into that team event, because as far as we know right now, that's going to be the most important part. That is going to be such a factor here. Once again, coming up next in the aerial tumbling pass will be Chloe Parker from Wingate University.
Very good tumbling pass. A little wonky coming out of that whip to full, but
she has such great height on her elements. Like you said, there was something a little off about it, which did kind of change the trajectory of where it ended. It ended a little bit further up on the front of the mat, as opposed to kind of going corner to corner, which is what you want to see. You want to see corner to corner, and so that kind of wonkiness coming out from the one element to the other did unfortunately make her come up and finish more at the front of the mat. And that is something that judges will kind of take into consideration, is where they land. You can have a clean landing, but where did you land is a very important factor. All right, we're waiting for these judges to finish up scoring, but up next, we will have the 6th element. Audra Kaiser from Lander will be up first for the 6th element. And I know Audra, she is probably still kind of trying to get out of her head what happened in that first duo tumbling pass, but she is so talented and she has such a great pass here that I have no doubt she can shake it off, she can be great, and we will see her really excel here. You can see her coaches down there giving her a pep talk. And it can be hard as a coach when you have an athlete that you know you've got to just kind of build up and get them back to where they need to be.
But it's also signs of a good coach that can build them up to go out and perform that they know they can, and with the confidence that they have after a fall that she had earlier.
Absolutely.
Beautiful pass.
And you know what? She just wiped that slate clean. She had a great pass.
Great way to make up for that earlier duo pass.
Absolutely. Great job to Audra. I was holding my breath. I don't know about you.
I was holding my breath.
Yeah, something about it, for me, I get that coach instinct comes back in, and I just want to see them succeed, especially after feeling bummed from what happened from the duo pass. So, great job. All right, up next, we will have Emery Eccles from Wingate University. Emery was the conference champion winner this morning.
She was.
She sure was. She had a great pass. Emery, like we said, she is an unbelievably talented freshman. She has a great career ahead of her here at Wingate. I have zero doubt that she'll probably be in conversation for Athlete of the Year here in the future. And she's kind of been like everybody else. She's definitely had, she's played a part in almost everything here today. She's all over the place. And a lot of people probably don't realize this, but they start all the way that far back off the mat because they need all of the endurance they can get. They need a solid running start in order to make this pass be fully complete. She had those toes right there at the end of the mat. I know she was probably like, Lord, let me just stay in this panel.
Yeah, she did have a step off earlier, but definitely a good way to bring it back. And, you know, that pass is very, very hard, and doing whips as beautiful as hers, it's very impressive to see.
She's another person that has just an unbelievable amount of height in her elements during a pass. It is very impressive. She kind of flies through the air, as we would like to say. Sometimes you were like, how do you keep that stamina and all of that power when you're flying like floatless in the air? And she makes it look so easy.
Tumbling on your toes.
Yes, yes.
It's a very simple skill to have, but a lot of people do not have it, including me.
I was going to say, I am one of those people.
Very flat-footed. So to see her be able to do that is very impressive.
Absolutely. All right, we are going to finish out with the open tumbling. Jaden Irizarry from Lander will be up first in the open tumbling. And Jaden was also part of a little tumble off that we had to have today. And Jaden, I believe she walked away. She was the champion today.
She was.
Yeah. It was hard to keep up because we had so many ties.
Yeah, she was part of the tumble off, but she did end up walking away with that.
And, of course, when you have that tumble off, she managed to do her second time better than her first time.
Yes, she did.
Those three whips.
Hey, yo.
Great job.
Wow.
Those three whips are so hard, and she executes them so well. And she gets faster with every whip. You know, and sometimes that's hard. Sometimes you lose your speed with each whip because your body is just like flying through the air, literally. But she manages to get faster and faster with each whip, which can almost sometimes give you a little too much power, but she always reins it back in and finishes really nicely.
She did over-rotate a little bit because you could try to see that she kind of sidestepped as she landed. But granted, this is a very hard pass, and you do need all that power, so over-rotating is better than under-rotating.
Absolutely. Under-rotating, she would have been mad at face to mat, and we don't want to see that. So, like you said, we'd rather over-rotate than under-rotate. All right, last but certainly not least, we have Evelyn Lacroix. Evelyn is one of those incredible freshmen from Wingate, part of that stacked group that they have of their young, I almost called them youngins, and then that almost made me sound really old. We saw Evelyn also today in the tumbling final. Now, the separation between hers and Jaden's is really going to be that 3-whip to 2-whip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a 3-whip is definitely more difficulty. So if they did see any problems in Evelyn's, they can definitely deduct. And then when they deduct, it will still end up lower than Jaden's original score due to her just having a higher start value because of that extra whip she has added in there.
Mm-hmm. All right, we are waiting on those scores still from tumbling, but we're going to talk a little bit about the team event because it is genuinely going to come down to this. We had a feeling that would be the case. We had a feeling that this score was going to be super tight and that team event was going to determine the winner, and that's exactly what we imagined, and that's exactly what's going to happen here, folks.
And you'll keep hearing us say it's tight, it's coming down to the wire, it's going to come down to team event. These teams are so close in score. Well, listen to this. Both their team event scores are only separated by 0.2. 0.2.
I mean, that is the difference in a bobble. That's a difference in any little thing. And if they both were to hit and execute, Lander does have that advantage on the score, but right now Wingate's got the advantage with the current running total. So
the judges are going to have to be really picky about what they do and don't deduct in these routines, because this is ultimately what is going to determine who is a new championship, who's a new conference champion, and, you know, who goes home with that beautiful trophy that is over there on that table.
Absolutely. And Wingate already has one of those beautiful trophies, and they are looking to make it two. They are also looking to take home both titles for the first time in program history. We saw Limestone do it 4 years in a row, and now today we will have a new winner on from either program, but Wingate could make history by taking home both. All right, so first up in the Lander team event, you will see the full group, 24 athletes on the mat. You are going to have to pay really close attention because it is nonstop action. You will see a little bit of everything. You'll see acro skills. You'll see pyramid. You'll see tumbling. You will see tosses. I mean, truly, if they competed it today, you will see it here in this team event. And that's what makes it so difficult, because they are doing a 2-minute and 40-second routine.
2-minute, 45 seconds.
45. Oh, goodness. Okay, 2-minute, 45-second routine after competing essentially twice today.
Yes.
That is tough on the body. And so, again, we shouted them out earlier today, but shout out to the strength and conditioning crew from both Lander and Wingate, and shout out to their athletic trainers, because I know those athletic trainers were hard at work during the break we had from the individual event finals to the team finals, giving those girls the recovery that they needed, getting their muscles rebuilt and ready to go again for today. So shout out to their staffs. Sometimes, a lot of times, athletic trainers and strength and conditioning coaches do go unrecognized and unnoticed, but these two teams would not be where they are today without the strength and conditioning and their athletic trainers. And honestly, both of them, I see their trainers here, and their trainers look just as nervous as the coaches do. All right, scores for the duo heat. Lander scored a 7.150 and Wingate with an 8.475. In the trio heat, Lander with an 8.175 and Wingate with an 8.075. In the quad heat, Lander with a 7.475 and Wingate with a 7.275. In the aerial heat, Lander with a 9.625 and Wingate with a 9.1. In the 6-element heat, Lander with a 9.175 and Wingate with a 9.625. In the open heat, Lander with a 9.7 and Wingate rounding it out with a 9.45. So get those calculators out. The running total for Lander is a 172.5 and the running total for Wingate is a 173.1.
Told y'all it was going to be close.
It is. And this team event is going to mean everything for Lander. They have got to hit a full 0, no questions asked, no deductions. They have no room for error if they want to take home the conference championship here today.
I don't know about you, but I'm going to be holding my breath this whole entire routine.
Absolutely. For both teams, I'm going to be sitting on pins and needles up here.
It's a stressful situation when you are an athlete, but I've never been on the other side.
You have no control of it over here. I know. It's the beauty and the problem of being up here is you have no control over what happens on the floor, but you've got to trust those coaches and trust those athletes that they have worked so hard to get here today. And I have no doubt in my mind that they'll see a great execution. Wow, excellent timing. And, we did not see that yesterday in those groups. They were both a little off. So great to see those fixes here today.
Very nice with the sink passes.
Very nice. Moving to some tosses here.
Beautiful, nice high catches.
And that can be so hard to do a synchronized toss, not being side by side.
Yeah.
Great timing.
Getting into some pyramids now. The bases really need to have a strong core right here. Really need to stay sturdy. Have a little bit of a wobble on that bridge, but kept it.
And the timing on the release was excellent. They really needed that. Yesterday, their timing was a little off on those releases.
Good toe pitch hold. Beautiful timing on those landings. Now getting to the second half of the routine. And these team routines really take a lot out of you. So to see these athletes still grinding, still working hard, landing their stuff is really a sight to see. A little bit of a hand touch.
Going into another set of tosses here.
Beautiful
excellent timing.
I wish y'all could see the coaches.
I know, the coaches are the most entertaining part.
Of the floor.
Great job.
It's really hard to do a full or 1.5 in the middle of a routine. Cartwheel full. So the endurance that these athletes have to have for that is incredible. Very nice extensions.
And great timing on those extensions. A nice cartwheel full. That's got to feel good to hit that
They are
cartwheel
killing this
full.
dance. Some of them, this is their last one, so.
Yes, congratulations to all the seniors in this program. They just hit their last routine for the last time.
They should be so proud of that routine they just put out on the floor.
They should be so proud of that. And congratulations to Landers coaches. That was an excellent. All right, you guys already know it's all going to come down to this event for Wingate. You can almost cut the tension in here with a knife. It is so stressful. I have goosebumps. I'm so excited for what's about to come. Again, I'm going to give a shout out. These parents and these fans have been so awesome here to see the love and support. I mean, I know it's so easy to cheer for your child, but to see them cheer for everybody else's kids is just so fun. And as a parent myself, I always want to surround myself with other parents who are going to lift up my kid. And we've just seen it here on display today and even yesterday, too. The scoring, I think, is taking a little longer than anticipated for Lander. We have not been able to move on to for Wingate's team event yet, so they are just finishing up those final scores from Lander, and then we can get started with Wingate. This has been such a fun weekend. And guys, I got to give Jada a shout out. This is her first time ever being on a broadcast, and I will brag about her until the cows come home. She has been fabulous. It has been so much fun to get to work with you this weekend, and you have just such a bright future ahead of you. It has been so much fun.
Well, thank you. Yeah, this is definitely an amazing opportunity, and, finding, broadcasting and being able to have that opportunity really speaks volumes, because I have found a love for it in just a short amount of time. So
it's a good time, isn't it?
It is a good time.
It's a good time. You're up here yapping. Who doesn't love to yap?
And who doesn't love to?
Yes, yapping about things is really fun. And to be up here and to get to watch some of the best teams in the nation. I mean, it's been such a joy, and feel very lucky to have watched these two teams go head to head here today. All right. Time is here for their team event with 24 on the mat, the Wingate Bulldogs. A slight wobble on that front acro element. Way to save it, though.
A little bit of a misstep on this front pull.
Great strength here from Wingate. Very nice job. Very nice little front pass here. Those three just tumble so well together. Their timing is unbelievable.
Coming up to some tosses. A little wonky on those catches.
Yeah, and that right toss kind of went a little bit faster. Her feet were kind of pushing through a little bit quicker.
A little bit of timing issues.
A little extra step there on that last landing. Very nice landing from number 32. Setting up for a few more tosses here. Nice timing. Not totally synchronized. They were doing a little bit of opposite skill, I think. Well, that was a great team final from Wingate. They should absolutely be proud of it. Just a few timing things here or there. I didn't see any touch-outs. I saw a few extra steps from some of the running, tumbling.
Some timing issues, some wonky catches.
Yeah, funky landings and catches and things. But across the board, a great job. So we're going to be just sitting here on pins and needles waiting for this final to come. But both teams should be so proud. I mean, they are just putting up such excellent scores. I think both can say that they have upped the ante and have posted some higher scores than they have this weekend. I know there's some things that everybody would like to take back or get a second chance at, but ultimately, both teams have just had a stellar weekend, and both teams should be very proud of themselves. And again, they're both ranked nationally. So at the end of the day, whether you're conference champion or not, both of these teams are ranked in the top 15 nationally, which is just a huge feat in themselves. And so that's incredibly a huge feat that I don't think we see often.
No, we do not.
So just, again, want to give a huge shout out to Conference Carolinas. This has been such an incredible weekend. We have had such an amazing time here. I've kind of invaded y'all's home space down here, but a big shout out to Emmanuel University and their fantastic staff for being so welcoming and letting us come in and host the Acro Tumbling Championships here. And a shout out to the Acro Tumbling team. You guys have been all over the place. You're selling tickets. You're selling concessions. You're up here with me in the booth. You've got girls from your team that are doing the announcing and the PA. Mm-hmm. So you guys are all getting some crazy, like, fun job shadowing in a way.
We are.
Yeah. Thrown into the spotlight, I should
It's definitely nice to be a part of it. You know, when we originally said yes to doing the Conference Carolinas, we did think we'd be making it to conference finals or, semifinals, event finals. So then to, not have a season due to injuries and whatnot, this really allowed us to be put back into the acro world and really allow us to feel what it's like to be, in season, and allow our freshmen to kind of experience what a meet looks like and a meet weekend. So I really do appreciate being able to be a part of Conference Carolinas, even if it wasn't in the way I thought it would be for my senior year. I definitely loved being a part of it, and I'm glad I got to be.
Well, like I said, you got a future in you with this broadcasting gig. You have been fantastic this weekend, and so have all of your teammates. It has been so impressive to see all of you just jump into these roles in which you are normally seeing some seasoned people in, and you guys have stepped in like you do this every day, which is awesome. And I think it's just so great to have seen your team step in. And again, a big shout out to the staff here at Emmanuel University and the staff at Conference Carolinas for putting on a fantastic championship weekend. We have seen so many awesome things come out of this weekend. It was so fun to see Belmont Abbey and Mars Hill walk away with some championships this morning. Neither one of those teams made it to semifinals. Mars Hill was knocked out during quarterfinals, so to see both of those teams kind of walk away with some event finals this morning was very cool to see, and very fun to see everybody have their back too. We talked about how this is a an event in which you don't always see this in a lot of teams, but the sportsmanship. I mean, you have Montevallo stuck around, and they said, we're going to watch, and we're going to cheer for these teams. And so I think that just speaks volumes to what Conference Carolinas has done and the type of sportsmanship that they expect from their teams. Montevallo right now is just a huge that's like on display. I mean, they chose to stay here and they chose to watch these finals and cheer these teams on. And I actually saw a couple of athletes, I think either from Newberry or Belmont Abbey, they were here through the end as well. So I think that's just so special. And, you know, we bragged on it all day long, but all right. Here are the team event scores for today's meet. In team event, Lander, an 85.430. In team event, Wingate, 83.910. The final scores, Wingate, 257.010. Lander University, 257.680. That means that Lander University has done it in the biggest moment of the season. They have risen to the occasion, and they delivered a championship performance, a statement win, a title to match, and they are the Conference Carolinas tournament champions.
They definitely deserve it. What they did out there today, they definitely proved to themselves and also everyone else that they're not to be messed with, and they have something to prove.
I could not agree more, Jada. Incredible job by Lander University. Huge shout out to their coaching staff. What an amazing meet. This, I mean, like we said, it was going to be the team event.
It was going to be the team event.
It was going to be the team event. And that was what mattered the most. So for these student athletes, this is more than a championship. It is the result of the month of dedication, trust, and relentless effort. Tonight, we saw the very best of acrobatics and tumbling. So for my partner, Jada LaRock, I'm Anna Catherine English. Thank you so much for joining us for an unforgettable championship. And we'll see you guys next time. Congratulations to the Lander Bearcats, your 2026 Conference Carolinas Acrobatic and Tumbling champions.